Let me know if you guys also relate to this, but every single time I'm about to go on a trip, I get this like itch, this kind of tingle to get some new gear. I don't know why, but like something in here just immediately gets triggered. And then for some reason, across all the times that this has happened, I always manage to find something completely new to obsess over. I actually stayed up until like 2 in the morning on Saturday watching back-to-back YouTube videos just to validate my feelings on why I suddenly need this new piece of filming gear. For a little bit more context, I am traveling again. I'm going to New York this weekend with my mom for a quick weekend trip to go visit my brother. So lots of exciting stuff happening this upcoming weekend, but I thought it'd be so fun if I vlogged me updating my vlogging setup before I leave for my trip. I do feel like I'm like really close to my dream vlogging setup, and obviously this is going to be based off of my needs. I don't think there's any vlogging setup that you'll find that is one size fits all. Hopefully in this video I can at least guide you guys on what filming gear has been very impactful in my videos.
Oh baby, don't cry, 'cause there's always tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, if I could fly, ooh, I would be with you every second of my life.
Thought we could start off with my current filming setup, and then I will introduce you guys to the newest family members. I'm honestly so excited. I feel like a kid in the candy store anytime I buy some new filming equipment. Also, not that I'm even qualified, I'm not gonna go too deep into specs or any of the technical aspects. I'm gonna more so describe my filming gear from a practical use sense. In my opinion, I think a lot of the technical stuff you just always end up learning along the way regardless, and a lot of it can be tweaked one way or another depending on your filming style. I just want by the end of this video for you guys to feel like you can start vlogging. Whether or not you want to do YouTube or social media, I think it's a really fun skill to learn, and it's also a really cool way to commemorate a lot of your video memories instead of just leaving it in your like camera roll archive. So to start, it is actually not in this bag because I'm using it to film right now, but the camera body I use is the Sony a7C. It is a full frame mirrorless camera. It is super duper compact. I never feel like it's really bulky or takes up too much space in my bag. Personally, I would recommend starting off with a full frame camera. Like, I know it's more expensive, but I feel like your filming style more so comes out in the lenses you pick and not necessarily the camera body. A lot of the recommendations for lenses heavily lean towards full frame cameras than like an APS-C. Next, when it comes to vlogging, I switch between two lenses, and they're both prime lenses, which means they don't have like any kind of zooming function. You're like stuck at that focal length. So for me, my preference is a 20mm and a 35. So a 20mm is super duper wide. You're gonna get a lot of background space, which is great for vlogging because it really helps your viewers to see where you are. If you want to make videos where you're sitting and talking to the camera, or you're doing something and talking to the camera, even if you're not leaning towards talking to the camera, I think if you are planning on like showing people what you're doing, this is a really good focal length because it kind of gives you the context of where you are and what exactly are you doing and why. And the one that I specifically have is the Sony 20mm 1.8. Next, I have my 35mm. It just kind of resembles how we view our surroundings naturally. And this is also my preferred focal length when it comes to pictures. So if you want a lens that kind of does a mix of video and photo, this is a really great focal length to start off with. This kind of focal length will really direct your viewers on what exactly they should be looking at without being so close that you kind of like lose the context of where you are and your surroundings. I find this lens the easiest to maneuver because it's like kind of that in between where you can get a very blown out shot depending on the distance you are from whatever subject you're taking, but you can easily move forward a few paces and get that more focused subject level shot. This one is from Sony, but it is their 35mm 1.8. I know I said I wasn't going to talk too much about specs, but since I mentioned that both of these are 1.8, that just means that they're really good in low light situations. So even when the sun comes down and you have a little bit of street light, you can still get a really nice shot. In a general sense, I'll only bring my 20mm if I'm planning on like talking to the camera, or I'm like with friends and I want us all talking to the camera. But in general, I normally take my 35. Next, I have my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It has this gimbal up here, so it stabilizes your footage as you're filming, which is incredible, amazing. It just saves you so much time while you're editing. You can film two different ways. You can film horizontally, but you can also film vertically like this. It has a face tracker, so even if I kind of move away, it'll always try to make sure that I'm in the center of the frame. And then I also got the creator kit, which is what's really awesome about this camera. So the creator kit basically comes with obviously the camera and then this handle and tripod stand, which is actually so convenient. It also comes with a detachable battery, which you can easily plug in and continue filming if your device is running low on charge. Finally, the creator kit comes with a wireless mic, which connects to the camera via Bluetooth. Definitely have to attach this on your clothes pretty close to your mouth, otherwise it's not gonna really pick up a lot of your voice. Maybe I'm just being picky, like it's not the worst mic ever, but I think in comparison to like a typical DJI wireless mic, like I don't know why this is so bad, or it's not like an equivalent to that in terms of how well it picks up sound. Speaking of mics, I generally use Rode, so I have my Rode shotgun mic up here, but when I'm vlogging outside, I generally take my wireless mic. So this one is the transmitter that you plug into the camera, and then this is the wireless mic that you either hook onto your clothes. A lot of the times I actually hook this onto the strap of my bag, which I also find very convenient. And yeah, this is also really nice because in comparison to my shotgun mic, I don't have to remove the transmitter in order to put the camera back into my bag. These are like the tiniest things ever, and I would say the battery lasts for like a full day of filming, maybe 8 hours max. Finally, the vlogging tripod that I use is the PGY Tech Mantis Pod. What's really cool about this tripod is it has this little hook on this leg, and I guess for example, take like a door, you can hook this over the door and these two legs will support it, and your camera can get this really cool overhead shot. This also has like a cold shoe mount, so you can easily attach any kind of mic, and then instead of using like screws to screw on your camera onto a tripod, it uses this quick release. So as long as you have some kind of plate on the bottom of your camera body, then you can easily attach it onto the tripod and super easily take it off as well. Final two little accessories I kind of carry around in my camera bag is this little like screwdriver thing. I mainly do this if I need to like rotate the plate I have on the bottom of my camera. Then I have this really tiny white balance card. It literally is the size of like a credit card, I would say, so it can easily fit into like a wallet, for example. But this is so helpful, especially when you're shooting indoors and sometimes you get some really spotty yellowy lighting that maybe doesn't make the complexion look the nicest. I honestly am too lazy to set my white balance most of the time, but for those times when you yourself can tell it looks extremely off, this is definitely like a lifesaver. That is everything that I've been carrying around, I want to say, for the entirety of this year for the most part. As a final step, I guess I'll show you guys my actual camera bag. So this is a camera bag. It's from this company called loulex, and I absolutely love this bag. I feel like it's actually made my filming process significantly easier. So it has this back pocket, which I mainly use to hold a lot of those like smaller accessories and my wireless mics for the most part. I also keep my phone and my wallet in here, which is very convenient too, especially when I'm traveling. And then the main compartment doesn't really have any formal structure. It's just completely empty. You can add those like velcroed walls if you wanted to make little compartments, but I just kind of throw everything in here. I feel like it fits a lot better. I will say, if you are thinking of getting a camera bag, something that I would 100% recommend is you don't get anything where there's like a lip in terms of how it opens. For example, instead of the zipper being around the wall of the bag like this, but it was like right down the middle and you would have to kind of like peel back the sides to really fully open the bag, that is going to be such a pain because you're constantly like taking things in and out of your bag and you don't want like extra fabric that kind of blocks you from doing so. That is just my #1 tip when it comes to camera bags. Like, it needs to be easy for you to take things out of it. I feel like this almost makes it into a camera bag, but it has these two little straps that you can actually connect to your camera on the buckles on the side. I guess I can kind of demonstrate, but pretty much you can attach it on either side of the camera or also attach it on the bottom, and you can easily leave your camera just hanging outside of the camera bag and you don't have to take it in and out, which is such a nice option. I do that a ton, especially whenever I'm traveling.
It's just another day to get through, but it's not easy when you're blind from the truth. I see it as my goal. Wanna be with you every second I got.
So I got a new lens. This is the newest member to my filming gear family, and I'm like so excited to try this out while I'm in New York. I did actually save a little bit of money, and normally for most of my filming gear I tend to pay full price, so I feel like it was just meant to be. Oh, I was like so confused for a second because I didn't see like the word Sony, but I forgot I also got like a kit. So I even saved even more money now that I think about it. Okay, I'm so excited. Okay, so this is the Sony Power Zoom 16 to 35 millimeter. I'm like really excited to see how this like feels in my hands now that I have so many lenses. I'm like hoping this is like the compact size of my dreams. Okay, so here it is. It's a lot fatter than I was expecting, but I guess that makes sense because it is a zoom lens, so it has to adjust for that. This is my 20. And then this is my new 16 to 35. The 20 is like slightly a little bit shorter, and obviously it is a bit skinnier. And then here it is in comparison to my 35, which if you think about it, that's not too bad because this is probably my most compact setup currently. So the fact that it's not that huge of a difference is actually pretty good. I think this weighs like right under a pound, but if you guys wanted to see a little bit closer up, this does have an aperture ring, which is so convenient. My 35 does not, and I didn't realize how big of a pain in the butt it would be. And then there's two ways you can zoom. So you can zoom this way, kind of similar to like a digital camera, and then you can zoom manually as well with this little ring. I got a little kit because I actually like to use protective filters to put on top of my lens. They're just like clear filters, so in case anything did spill onto my lens, it would be the filter that I would have to replace and not the entire lens itself, which would be absolutely heartbreaking. Also, cleaning like dust and gunk off of the lens itself is so much harder because as you can see, there's just so many like crevices where things can get stuck versus this is just completely flat, so it's really easy to like wipe and dust off. It's finally on after twisting that a million times. Also, very conveniently came with a cleaner. It has this little blower to blow off any dust. And then this is actually a lens pen, which I own a few of these, and I actually forgot to mention this while I was showing you my current setup, but this is really great to like wipe off any marks, and I think the other end is also a brush. So this is like really convenient to like throw in your camera bag. A little cleaning solution, and then an actual lens cloth. The only thing that's like really different about this lens in comparison to my other ones is that this is an f4, which means this isn't going to be the most ideal lens in low light. The reason why I got this is because most of the time when I'm like travel vlogging, I am doing stuff in the daytime anyway. So I feel like it won't be as big of a deal, but that is probably like the biggest downside to this lens. But I think if it was a 1.8, it would be significantly heavier. So it's kind of like a give and take situation. Anyway, let me pop on this lens because I'm a little curious, and then I'll go into the two reasons why I decided to purchase this lens specifically. Let's do a little switch. Okay, whoa, this is so wide. So this is a 16 millimeter. What I was using before was actually my 24 to 70. So what a big difference from 24. Let's see if I can use the zooming function. This is it at about a 20, and then this is it at a 35. So the fullest amount, but it's a little bit too close, so it's making me uncomfortable. I'm gonna put it back to a 24. So the first reason why I decided to get this lens is because of its sheer size. It's super duper compact, and a lot of it has to do with the zooming functionality that's built into the lens. As you guys saw, like with that lever, the zoom was actually completely electronically controlled versus my 24 to 70, which I can show you. When I do the zooming function, it adds length like that as it zooms in. All the zooming kind of happens within the lens body itself, so there's no extra parts being built for it to pop out in this way, which is why the lens ends up being significantly lighter. And then the second reason why I got this lens is because of the focal length itself. So after testing out like so many lenses over the year, I definitely realized my preferred focal length is a 20 and 35, which obviously I showed you in my current camera setup. This lens to me kind of feels like the best of both worlds. And again, it's not like I couldn't make my 20 and 35 work. It's just because these are prime lens, sometimes it isn't the most convenient thing, especially when you're outside vlogging and you want to switch things up. And sometimes you really don't have like the luxury to like walk up to a certain area and like get the shot, especially when you're like with people and you're like walking around. You don't want to have like your filming take away from like the experience. So I feel like having that zooming function is very convenient in that sense. I like cannot get over how wide this is. I've never used a 16 millimeter. The widest I've ever gone is a 20. So I'm just like, this is so fun to kind of play around with. I am even more excited for New York now.
I I know sometimes life can be tough, and you feel like you just had enough. When you're thinking everything is going wrong,
when I'm all the way in.
just remember that I'm here to cheer you on. Yeah.
I got my mic. I got the Sony ECM M1 mic. It's so cute, but my wallet hurts. You know what happened? Checkout register, I was like, oh, do you have this mic? He's like, oh, it's like somewhere out there. Then he told me like, oh, good luck finding someone to help you though, because we're super understaffed. And then dad had to step in and be like, can you please help my daughter, someone? And then it was in the warehouse, so I wouldn't have been able to find it anyway. Yes, she's beautiful. She is here. Good job, guys. Okay, hello. We have made our way back home, and I honestly have a bit of a headache right now, so we're gonna make this little unboxing really quick. I don't know if you could hear me in the parking lot of Best Buy, but this is the Sony ECM M1 wireless shotgun mic. I will unbox this in a second, but one of the big reasons why I really wanted this mic was because it's not just like a shotgun mic where it just kind of picks up whatever's in front of it. You can actually use this little dial on this mic to direct where you want your audio being picked up. You can see all the little options up here. There are 8 in total. Anyway, let's open this up. I'm actually so excited to just like hold this finally in my hands. The only like downside I want to say about this is you obviously need a compatible Sony body. It's not like a universal shotgun mic, so you do need to be part of like the Sony family in order to use this. Oh, it's like so small. I wasn't expecting it to just like be like this and be able to fit in like my fist. Here she is. It's actually way smaller than I thought. Like here's my hand for reference. Like it's literally the size of like my palm. It also comes with this little fuzzy bit, so if you're like outside and it's windy, it should kind of help to break that up. This literally feels like I'm putting on a wig. As I mentioned before, you have this little dial, so you can easily switch between the direction you want your audio to be picked up. But even to just compare it to my Rode wireless mic, like it's honestly not that much bigger than it, if I'm being completely honest. So as you can see, there's like a little bit of tech on the bottom, and that's pretty much how it connects directly to your camera and makes this a completely wireless setup, and also why it's like not compatible with non-Sony cameras. It does have this little protective cap, so you're always keeping it super safe and clean. But I'm actually gonna take this off because I'm gonna switch out the mics. I hope this is working, but I have the dial set to all around, but I'm gonna switch it just to the front. And here it is with just the audio picking up at the front. It's kind of funny to think that you guys are hearing it before I am at this present moment. I'm gonna check really quickly because I'm like so curious. Gosh, that's so cool. You definitely can hear a difference. Like the all around sounds a lot more echoey, but with just the front, it sounds super crisp and clear. I'm actually pretty impressed, and looking at my camera setup right now, it looks way cleaner than, you know, having this hanging up on top of it. Anyway, that was all the gear that I was planning on buying for this video. I don't even have the money to even think about buying anything else, but I'm not gonna end the vlog quite yet because I'm gonna do a full-on test run of this new setup tomorrow morning.
Trying, you got it. You're gonna make it. Got it. I believe in you. Got it. Trying, keep on trying, girl. Got it. You're gonna make it. Got it. 'Cause I believe in you. Yeah. Just keep on trying.
I am almost like 90% sure that I accidentally snuck into the beach. I like found this little path and it was like towards the end of the beach. I'm almost 90% sure you're supposed to pay like $5 to get inside. That was great. I just like walked out of the entrance as if I paid. Oh wow, this is like so nice. Just like being by the water, it's like so calming. I meant to check out like more places, but I was honestly kind of lost and just like taking videos of anything that I thought was like interesting. I'm actually really loving like this whole new setup. Everything fits in my camera bag really nicely. It is like a little bulky, but I feel like for the functionality, I've been like really enjoying being able to like zoom in and also get like a super wide shot like this. And it's also so nice because now I don't have to like decide between two different lenses. Now I'm like even more excited for New York and just like to take you guys with me with this whole new setup. And I honestly don't know why, because I've like posted travel vlogs before, but I feel like because there's like so many of you guys who are like new to my channel and things are just like so different now than when they were when I was posting those videos. I feel like this is my very first travel video and I like don't want to mess it up for you guys. And it's also like really weird to kind of think about, but I feel like I haven't fully been able to like introduce myself to you guys yet. I feel like because YouTube videos are a little bit more slower paced than like Instagram or TikToks where you like post every single day, I feel like week by week we're like getting to know each other a little bit better. Like some of the comments that I've been reading, I feel like it's really interesting to see like what part of me that you guys relate to, and it's just so different from beauty, because when I was doing beauty it was like very one-dimensional, if that makes sense. Like I felt like it was maybe like 5% of me and I wasn't really showing other 95. I actually have a lot of like really fun and exciting projects coming up. I'm like working with a friend on like one of them. Implementing like a little bit more travel content is like on my list, and I'm like so excited for you guys to see those when they go live, but it's like currently in the works. This New York one is kind of like a sneak peek, I guess, to what's to come. I'm not even like trying to exaggerate, but I feel like connecting with you guys here on YouTube has actually been the most fulfilling part of my social media career. Like just reading your comments like just makes me feel so loved and like encouraged and supported. And I feel like it's only been really a month since a lot of you guys have like joined my journey, and I already feel like my YouTube channel is like so special. I feel like I say this at the end of every single video, but thank you guys so much. I feel so blessed in so many ways ever since I've like made this transition into YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week as well. Bye.
Oh, baby, don't cry. Oh, I wanna be with you every second of my life. I know your world is hollow, yeah, 'cause I can see it in your eyes.